Hey everyone, it's Susie McCrae, and welcome to the Susie Show, found on susiemccrae.com. And if you've been following my interviews, I had interviewed Kavanagh, who I'm with today. She is a certified metabolic efficiency trainer, level 2. There's very few in the country, and I'm blessed enough to know her as a friend and be able to partake in this. So, you probably have seen the interview with Caroline. If not, I encourage you to watch it. And also, there is another segment that I did where I came to Caroline's lab, and we're here now, and she did an assessment on me, a metabolic efficiency assessment on me, and we went through some preliminary results. Well, that was 11 days ago. So I'm back at the lab, and I promised to do a report out, and I have got to tell you how things are going, okay? And all I can say is, wow, all right? So it's been 11 days. 11 days of following a nutrition plan that Caroline helped design with me, and I have been following it for 11 days. And I've had 0 misses. So you want to know what's a miss. A miss is I've had no alcohol, no sugar, no grains, no fake food.
Yeah, we wouldn't say no sugar because sugar is in things like fruits and
okay.
So there's a little sugar, but you haven't had any candy, desserts.
No desserts, no candy.
Ice cream, that would be a miss.
Okay.
And no alcohol.
And no alcohol.
Yeah.
Who knew? But I got to tell you, this is what happened. The first day, I felt fantastic. The second day in the afternoon, I felt a little blah. And I know that I was probably going through a little detox. Not that I ate a lot of that stuff, but it was just my body adjusting. So I followed Caroline's advice. I kept doing my pairings exactly. I drank a lot of water, which I do anyway. Day 3, I had low energy. And Caroline and I were talking to each other, and she goes, "That's to be expected, Susie." And it wasn't anything life-threatening or whatnot. I still was able to do everything. It's not like I was in bed crying, looking for potato chips. Then after day 3, I was feeling good prior to this, but I'm telling you, I'm at a different level now. I really love my health journey. I love Plexus and the supplements I'm taking. Those are all a wonderful tool in my life, and I will never live without them. But I also knew that this was a tool I wanted to incorporate once I learned about exactly what Caroline did. So all I can tell you is I have struggled with my midsection, you know, this kind of in family genetic thing here. And I knew that there had to be a way that I could start losing the belly fat. Because my fear, Caroline, was metabolic syndrome, which I think I am insulin resistant, and I think things have gotten better. But the pairing and the direction Caroline has given me and the support has been unbelievable. I never believe people when they say, well, I didn't even crave that, or I didn't want that, or, oh, it's true. I am tasting food more than I ever have. Like I had spinach the other day, and it just tasted sweet almost to me. It's really interesting how it's more of a feeding, and I'm eating, and I'm pairing, and it's satisfying, and I feel good. I thought I was sleeping good before. I'm sleeping even so much better. When I'm doing I'm not a huge exercise person, but when I'm doing it, I feel better. So here's the results. 11 days, 10 pounds.
10 pounds down, yeah.
I never weigh myself, and I did. I am down 10 pounds, and this was the only thing I measured, the belly to my belly button, 2 inches. And these shorts used to be tight on the legs. I am losing weight in places I never thought I could.
Very typical. The waist measurement not so typical. Okay, 10 pounds, that's a lot to lose. But I've seen it happen. And what you're speaking about with the cravings, the sugar cravings, people that are candy people would look at me and say, no, that of disbelief, a look of like, that's not going to happen with me. And I just smile and say, okay.
You wait and see.
We'll see how it goes. But I've heard that many, many times. People say, I just can't believe it's just the craving is gone.
Yeah. And I was at a family party. We had this beautiful cake for my dad.
Yeah.
And I just, I wasn't like, I can't have it. I was like, I don't eat that. Like I talked to you about before, it's better to say I don't instead of I can't. And my thing isn't really sweets as much as it's, I love my downfall is maybe corn chips with guacamole or whatever, sneaking those in. But, you have a glass of wine and that stimulates my insulin, I know, which wants me, to maybe have one and then one turns into two, turns into three, and then maybe have another glass of wine. And it just wasn't working right for me. So eliminating the alcohol, and I'm not saying that I was this big, huge drinker by any means, but that alone has been huge, I think. People are like, oh, I can't give up this. You can. And the way I feel, Caroline told me I could have a miss now after 14 days. And I'm kind of like, I don't even know if I want to have a miss because of my results. I never imagined I'd lose 10 pounds in 11 days. So.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Okay. No misses.
Good student.
For 10 days. That's really great work. But that's what it takes. And I say, do you have 2 weeks out of your life? We have 2 weeks to do a lot of things. That's like a vacation.
Right. And there's freedom in it too, which I wanted to talk about, is people think restricted. And I just looked at it as freedom, that I don't have those sugars or those certain carbs or alcohol, the ice cream and all that. I don't have it. And when you say I don't have it, there's tremendous freedom, because you're like, it's eliminated and it's out of the picture. And you don't have to say, oh, should I? Maybe I could have a little. It's just like, I don't have it. And you just move on. But the clarity I'm feeling, I'm at this, I was feeling really good prior to this. It has stepped up a notch. So I'm really, really excited, because Caroline has, what she provides in her whole testing is to come back or via phone or however you can do it. She gives you a very good report, and she's going to give me an update on the report. And it's designed for me individually of what kind of exercise is the most efficient for Susie right now to be in a fat burning zone. Right. Is that correct? Am I saying it right?
That's part of it. Okay. And so for you, your goals, and it's based on the assessment and the data, which I've put together here. And we'll just run through the first page of the report, and I'll just sort of show you that.
You may not be able to see it, but
yeah.
It's a nice report. There's Susie. Yep.
Okay.
And I had a crossover early.
So what this says about Susie is she had a crossover point, which was early on in just beyond that first stage, those first 5 minutes, which means she was started burning carbohydrates predominantly, and fats were lower percentage of burn.
Mm-hmm.
Once we moved beyond that first stage, which was a walking pace, you then started to burn predominantly more carbohydrates. So, and that's when she crossed over from burning predominantly fat to predominantly carbohydrates. And then that line just continues to go. Once you start burning more carbohydrates, that line continues to along that same path, and you just keep burning more and more and more. So what does that tell us in a very quick kind of a snapshot? That Susie's focus is on nutrition. That's your primary focus.
Which we said, that was my, yeah.
Which 75% of metabolic efficiency is nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have the 25% of the training aspect,
Mm-hmm.
which that's the second part of this, which is where is Susie's best fat burning zone? If she wants to go out and do some exercise, what's going to be the most beneficial for her?
Because I think the myth or the misunderstanding is people are like, I'm just going to go out and run for an hour, or I'm going to go 2 hours and do this, or I need to get my heart rate up to a certain thing. And we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, like burn calories, burn calories, burn calories, which can be good in some cases. But what I've learned from Caroline is that if I want to be an efficient fat burner, she is giving me the levels of, and the intensity of what I have to do to stay in that fat burning zone. And then I'm going to come back and get retested after how long do you think?
So as little as 4 weeks. I've seen people make a shift. But I recommend, I think for you, let's see how you do. But
okay.
6 to 8 weeks for a retest.
And then when the retest, you'll put me back on your machine, right?
Yeah.
And we'll see where my crossover is. Right. And will that mean that you may have a new update as to what I should be doing for fitness?
Exactly.
To be more efficient.
And we'll know too. I say, look at your body. You're already seeing improvement, and even we can look back to the video. And I'm going to take some additional measurements today. And
she's got this caliper out there.
Got some calipers. I'm going to take some really good spots and 4 spots.
Glad I'm down 10 pounds that you're doing the caliper today.
But I can see just from, I haven't seen you in a week, a little over a week.
11 days.
Already I can see in your face.
Yeah.
And that's a place that is hard to say, I'm going to lose fat in my face. That's...
Yeah, I know some of it is water weight too, and everyone goes, oh well, it's water. Well, who cares? Yeah. I feel better, and it's not about getting skinny. It really isn't. It's like I just am really enjoying the way I feel. Yeah. It wasn't like I was skeptical at all, but I thought it was going to be difficult. That was what my biggest fear was. Like, can Susie do it? I don't have a lot of willpower really, but what Caroline has taught me and the different foods I'm eating, I am like so satisfied, and it's not that difficult, and it's good food. It's
real food.
And it's not like all this portion control and counting everything. It's very simple and easy.
Yeah, it really is. And like I said before when we talked, I was never a dieter myself. Someone said, or I tell myself I'm going to go on a diet, forget it. I'd start eating everything because I felt like I couldn't have it. With this, it's not about that. It's about eating as much as you want and really tapping into how you feel. And that's the difference. It's not a diet. It's really periodizing your intake.
Mm-hmm.
Those quality foods that you're eating around what you're doing, around your exercise. I know we talk a lot about the ratios, the 1-to-1s, the 2-to-1s, but what I really like people to start thinking about as you progress is feeding yourself for whatever you're going to be doing.
Your level of activity, right?
For your level of activity. So if you're someone that, works out every day, you're doing triathlons, you're doing ultra marathons, whatever you're doing, sprint races, you want to make sure you've got enough carbohydrates in there to fuel those endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not, then you don't need to fuel up or load for overload. And I think that's the difference here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's real food. It's not.
It is real food. And I mean, Caroline was excellent at, personalizing it with me and giving me different ideas of things. And I've actually probably spent far less money too.
Yeah, people say, "Oh, it's so expensive." It's like, well,
really
what are you buying? And this is real food. It's just not that expensive.
I'm having turkey liverwurst. Who knew I would have had that? Wilshire, whatever. There's so many things that you can have. It's not deprivation by any stretch of the imagination. But it's funny, I see people, they work out and they run, and then it's like, they reward themselves with beer, with pizza, whatever, because I just burned all those calories. And it's that can be a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Right, with their spike. Because I got to tell you, the pairing of the foods, I have done low carb before. I had done Atkins way before. I've had success with all of them. I went and was hypnotized and did the whole low carb thing. And they do work, but I didn't feel as good as I feel now. So I think it's a combination of things. Number one, I think it's because I have, my gut is healthier and I'm less stressed with my work and career life. But I think Caroline is really onto something with the way she has me pairing the foods. I think that has stabilized my blood sugar, and I understand it even more than I did when we started. And that has really made the difference for me. And she's onto something, really. And I am just thrilled beyond belief because I didn't think this would happen to me. And I'm going to keep it up. So I'm going to continue to follow the plan. Caroline's got, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about that, about my report, or?
Well, it's almost 10 pages. So I don't know if we want to go too deep in that on the interview here, but
no, you got to come get your own report.
But Susie and I are now, we just talked about that preliminary, but we're going to go sit down now and we'll go through this and make sure you understand really how you can apply the training aspect, the 25%, and we'll look at what you've been doing this past week for your logs, your dietary logs, and see if we need to make any adjustments there about how you're feeling. But I couldn't be happier, Susie, with the progress you've made in only, a little over a week. And
I just want to show you guys one thing. For you guys wondering about the log, it was very, very easy on my phone. Caroline had me get onto MyFitnessPal, and you go in there, and she explained exactly what to do. And I'm like, oh God, I'm going to have to go in and record everything I have. But it was a lot of fun. I felt like I was putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and I could see how my macronutrients were for each meal. But the other thing, I don't know if you know, did you know you could scan something?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
My friend Jordy showed me that.
Yeah.
So it has absolutely every food in there. And I was able to scan like the turkey liverwurst, the barcode, and it came up with all the nutrients, and then I just put in how much I ate.
It's a nice tool. Not everyone, I like people to learn initially. And then I say, you don't need to be doing this forever, but once you get the hang of it,
it's fun.
It's fun. And some people, I continue to do it myself here and there. If I want to map a meal, or I just want to get back into the rhythm of
you put your exercise in it though, and we're friends on MyFitnessPal. It's a little bit like Facebook, where you can share things. So when I add my exercise in or whatever, Caroline will like respond back, way to go, or she likes what I did, or comments back, and I can comment back to her. And I just found this to be, I never thought that I would want to keep track, because I was so against, like, oh, I don't want to be restricted, but it's interesting to see what's in the food. But I never felt restricted, really. It was like I was putting the pieces of the puzzle together. It was fun.
Yeah. I too never wanted to track anything. That's why we have the hand models with metabolic efficiency. So it's a way to do that. A meal is a whole hand, protein, and then our carbohydrates, we pair them together. But like I said, it isn't a low carb diet. It isn't a diet. It's a way of pairing your macronutrients to keep your blood sugar stable and actually target the fat loss. Everybody wants to lose fat,
and
right?
It works.
And it works, and that's really the bottom line. It works.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to end for now. Caroline's going to take some measurements, and we're going to be back again with another update. And any of you that are interested, I'll be reposting all of Caroline's information. You can contact her, and she'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions and schedule you for your metabolic assessment. I can tell you it is worth the value of what she provides. Caroline adds value back to others, and that's why she's on the Susie show. And I think the value that she provides to her clients is tremendous. Knowing what I had spent when I was hypnotized and not having one-on-one. I was in a group, 3 sessions in a group of 35 people or 40 people. There was no one-on-one. This is of unbelievable value. So if you're at the point in your life where you're ready to commit to something to get you to that next level, and you've tried a lot of different things, I think you should really consider coming to the lab here and letting Caroline work with you. Because like she said at the end of our last video, it is life-changing, and I feel it, and I'm committed.
Nice job, Susie.
Yay!
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 We'll keep going.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll be back again.